The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set.
Go, Breeze.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, man? Big four, man. Biggest four, man. Shout out Big Lotto, man. Shout out the other big, you know. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Look, clickbait, everything I do keep going viral. Louis on my leather, got my laces throwing spirals. Rappers, they been washed, I got them throwing in the towel. Chirping on them, net them birds dead, just like owl. Know that I'm a star, cause that was Simon said coward. I would never cheat, cause you and I my only vowel. Rappers, they be sweet, they in the patch, I know they sour. Know I put some on, they watch my movements like I'm bow.
The beat go off? Okay. Whoa.
Rip me out the plastic, need my cash and make it fit gymnastic. Drop my tape, then blast it, got them spashing, make them trip like acid. IRS, I'm taxing, killing fashion, I'm a drip assassin. Did you think before you tweet? Did you stretch before you reach? Did you check before you creep? Can't buy respect, it ain't that cheap, I gotta eat. Ain't break a sweat, review that chef like I was Keith. We got Van Leaf, that's what I stress. If they suggest, we can't repeat.
Whoa, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. Got my man Ant Petty Murphy in the building.
What's happening?
Hey, I don't care what nobody say.
She killed that, bro.
Hey, hey. Woo, she killed that. Shout out to Flage, man. But what's good, man? How you been? I know you sound like
good, bro.
A little sick.
I'm fighting allergies over here. You know,
I know the feeling.
They got me down 3-1 right now, but I'm about to make a comeback. You heard me?
All right. Hey, so we didn't talk Sunday. We ain't do a show.
Yeah.
I say the story. I say the story just so I can tell you live in front of everybody. So Sunday, Mother's Day, decided I was gonna take my wife, the kids, and we was gonna go have a picnic. You know what I'm saying? Big park downtown Huntsville. And we did. Went down. It was beautiful. Beautiful. There's people, different families everywhere. It was families everywhere. It was had, you know what I'm saying, the way the park is set up, like it's a street that divides the two sides of the, like, you know what I'm saying, the park. So we went on one side of the park. Yeah, we went on one side of the park that had all the trees and shades and stuff. So I was like, okay, we won't necessarily need our umbrella because all we had was the beach umbrella. It's the pink and blue beach umbrella. Nice. So we got it. We set up. We eat. We playing games, take pictures and stuff. We're laughing. And then I saw this lady walk by. You know what I'm saying? Kind of tall lady. And she had on this like really sparkly dress and, you know what I'm saying, this real bright red hair. You know, so she walked by, everybody looks like, oh, you know, it's like, oh, she really in the mood, you know what I'm saying, festive for Mother's Day. And so we're sitting there and we're talking, we're still, you know what I'm saying, chatting it, chopping it up. We started knowing more and more people started gathering. Oh, what's going on, you know? Then microphones and stuff come out and the speaker pops up and we start hearing people singing and stuff, playing music, and they're talking. And then this lady starts talking on the speaker and stuff, and people are walking up and they've got flags now. And I look across and it's a guy who's protesting their protest because now we didn't figure out it's a protest. And he's protesting their protest and he's got a sign and people are hiding his sign. We're trying to hide it with umbrellas. And so the kids are like, what's going on? And my daughter being the nosy when she said, I'm finna go over there and take pictures. I'm finna figure out. So she go over there and we trying to figure out. And Dylan is like, he was like, they got a protest. It's a protest going on. My wife is just, she's like, wow, what's going on? And this guy walks by and Jay Sean has a pink shirt on, you know, so we're, you know, so he has a pink shirt on. And a guy walks by him with a shirt that says, I love black men. And by this time, we realize what's going on. There's a LGBTQ rally / protest going on. And then there's somebody else who showed up to protest the protest. So we're like, oh my God, we, you know, it's like where did all these people come from? And two, we in the middle of it, but if we leave, we look like we're, you know what I'm saying, like we're trying to, you know what I'm
You
saying?
gotta pick a side.
Yeah. we so if we leave, we look like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, bro.
But if we stay,
You gotta pick a side if you
and
stay.
so then the news crews show up. And so I was like, oh man. And so Dylan said, Dad, I gotta go use the restroom. So I said, okay. So we start walking towards where our car is because it's a building. And we stop and talk to the policeman. And my wife didn't realize that we're gone. She looks over. She said, oh God, they didn't stop them. The police got them.
Oh man.
Man, listen. Never in my life did I think that Mother's Day would be a protest. So yeah, the kids learned a lot, man.
It was
Oh, that ain't even the best part. The umbrella, like I said, was pink and blue, which is the same color as the transgender flag. Then yeah, so we really look like, you know, like we're out there, you know, saying as allies and stuff, and we're, you know, like I said, we're stuck. Exactly. And so yeah, we found a way up out of there though. I you know what I'm saying, we ended up leaving because Dylan had to go use the restroom, and then we come back.
Oh man,
We went back to the other side of the park just simply because at this time, you know what I'm saying, you know, after a rally like that, the kids are, you know what I'm saying, tired from marching. And so yeah. But yeah, that was my Mother's Day, man. That was
if you wanted to not have to pick a side, you should have just yelled out something like Black Lives Matter. Black
the funny part about it. Remember I told you they was covering up the signs with an umbrella?
Yeah, I don't want to know what they said.
I don't know what the signs say, but the umbrella had this.
No.
What is on this umbrella?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that?
Listen, I tell you what. Hey, listen. I just want listen. That was by far.
Oh, bro.
To make things worse, we get home and it's some little girls that Dylan always plays with. We get, you know, they're outside. We walk over there to play, and they, you know what I'm saying, they've just gone in. The dad is say, Dylan, you know what I'm saying, where you been, man? You should have came early. He said, we had a picnic for my mama. He said, oh, you shouldn't have invited me. He said, it just turned into a protest. Yeah. So that was my Mother's Day, man. Great day, man. They won't let me live it down. So
yeah, I mean, I can't top that one, bro. I ain't even finna try.
Yeah, and so yeah.
I ain't even finna try.
Yeah. Protest picnic. That's exactly what it became. It became. Yeah.
Man.
But man, we got a lot in store tonight. Some great things to talk about, man. I'm excited. One of these topics I'm really excited about.
Then start with it.
We're gonna start with it. But before we do, got a shout out to our sponsors over at Bet Online. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
That boy Kyle Lowry cooking, man.
Man, yeah, but man, let's get started. Listen, EA Sports announced they are working
It's
with.
in the game.
So what?
It's in the game.
Oh, it's in the game. They announced they are working with One Team, which is an organization to help facilitate NIL deals for student athletes that opt into 2024 video games. Shout out, man. Hold on. What them hand claps we gotta get, because that's
Yeah, that's dope, bro. But yeah, man, that's I think that's that was the next big hurdle in bringing the game back, man. You know what I mean? Like getting the players to where they image and likeness and name could be, in the game, and they could find some kind of way to compensate the players for it in a way that's, that they deem acceptable. And if I'm not mistaken, it's an individual basis. You know what I mean? So each player gets a chance to decide,
right.
whether they feel like it's a, acceptable offer or whatever the case may be. So I'm for it, bro. Anything that helps get that game back out so we can play it, I'm all for it.
Yeah. So I was excited when I was reading this. Then I realized it didn't just say football players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basketball too.
Not just that. Think about it. They had a college baseball game too.
They did. I forgot about that. They need to make a college softball if they're gonna do that.
I think they should put it in there too.
Yeah, with the baseball. Yeah,
with the baseball, have College World Series. Just call it College World Series, because both of them had. But
yeah,
man,
yeah,
that is
I'm with it.
I look forward to them bringing that back.
They're gonna do that. They got to put the women on the March Madness.
Oh, come on!
We could play with Angel Reese and Michaela and them.
Right, man. I can't wait. That's gonna be dope. Man, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all. I know we came in with the story, but man, Chris say EA sucks at making video games, but I'll take it. I think they suck because college football gone, because everything they want to do in Madden, they tried in college football first.
I hate Madden. Madden sucks.
So,
but I will say, I think FIFA the best game.
Yeah. So, but man, I just can't imagine just coming back having baseball. And Julian said it was called NCAA MVP for baseball.
I take it.
I don't care what you call it. I want to play.
Oh, EA, they bring EA back.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, everybody want to play with the 2019 LSU team. Obviously, next team you want to play with.
20 I'm trying to think, what was the year? I think it was 2015. It's the year right after that was the year Fournette went wild with the rent. I want to redo that season.
I got you. I think I'm gonna go this guy.
Julian say 2001 Miami Hurricanes.
You can call it recency bias or whatever, but my favorite things to do was to get the running quarterback and just, take off and run. So I want to play with JD.
2022.
Yeah, I used to get Michael Vick, Virginia Tech, and go and just run crazy like Pat White at West Virginia, and all them type of quarterbacks, and just run option routes, stuff like that with them. So I do that, but that team with Leonard Fournette on it would be fun to play with, though.
Yeah, definitely love to play with them. Man, I'm just excited. Like I said, I'm excited for to see what happened.
Especially when they
After 2017 national champs, UCF might.
yeah. Especially when you consider they're gonna have the NIL deals and
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna have all that. Like
Transfer
I
portal.
used to get like teams like ULM and Louisiana Tech and try to build them in the powerhouse and stuff. I wonder how it's gonna be now when you recruit that 5-star to ULM or whatever. Can you keep them or the transfer portal? You know what I mean?
Man,
Like
look,
that's gonna be so fun.
I once built a it was 2008. I took Ball State to 3 straight national championships.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that's so fun, bro. Like you get that 1 5-star running back, you know what I mean? And then you just carry him to a championship. And it's like now after his freshman year, whenever he third place in the Heisman, is he gonna leave?
Yeah, I look forward to the transfer portal, NIL.
Yeah, trying to find enough money to match the NIL deal he getting.
Avoiding NCAA sanctions. I know they're gonna put some crazy stuff like that on
there. That's gonna be wild.
Yeah, so that's gonna be wild. But man, I look forward to it.
What if they did conference realignment?
Ooh, that'd be because the last game,
all of a sudden Ohio State in the SEC or something.
So the last game they did was right before Texas A&M and Missouri came over. So yeah.
Speaking of conference realignment
and college football playoffs, but yeah, go ahead.
Before we hop into LSU real quick, have you seen what's going on with the ACC?
Man, they trying to I think I added this late. Strong arming. They out here strong arming people. Did you see
what they call themselves, the Magnificent Seven or some crazy name like that, bro?
They literally.
I think it's up to 8 schools now, though.
Yeah, I saw. Florida State was talking to the Ivy League.
That's fake. That's fake. That came from like the 2020 article or 2018 article from the Onion. That's fake. But Florida State and Clemson and what's the other school? Is it Miami? I think it's Florida State, Clemson, and somebody else. They really putting pressure on schools in the ACC to bounce. They so far behind in the TV money, and their deal is locked in for so long that they like, look, something got to shake, and they feel like they're getting left behind. And I know the SEC said they was cool, but if it get to the point where the Big Ten looking at a North Carolina or the Big Ten looking at a Virginia Tech, or I know they ain't big names. I'm just saying, but the Clemson, you know what I mean? Like, do you go after Florida State? Do you go after Miami? Do you go after North Carolina? Because I know we always think about football, but every time we talk expansion, my mind goes to Dr. Cavill, our HBCU brother, and the academic side of it. And we know the Big Ten gonna want these, certain research academic schools and stuff like that nature. To me, that's what makes North Carolina so valuable. Because not only the academics, but it's a good basketball school, decent football school, good baseball school. You know what I mean? They're good in almost every sport. And it's a state that you're not in right now if you're the SEC. You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
And so it's like, is it a race to North Carolina? You know what I mean? Like, then if you get North Carolina, who you bring with them? Is it Florida State? Is it Virginia? So you can have a team in every southern state? Like what do you bring Duke so you keep the rivalry together? Do you bring 14? Like, it's so many moving parts, dog, that what does Missouri do? Because Missouri originally wanted to go to the Big Ten, but the Big Ten didn't want them. So if the Big Ten's taking teams, do they try to get their head back in the Big Ten again? So then, it's so many moving parts, bro, that I like it in a sense because it's drama and it's chaos and it's so many hypotheticals and what ifs. But at the same time, I hate it, bro. That's a very good point, Andrew. But at the same time, I hate it because it's like I like college football being like regional, and the rivalries that come from it, and all these things that conference realignment kills.
Yeah. Andrew brought up, and you said
Great
it. Good
point.
point. He said also on UNC, the Big Ten has an edge over the SEC in sponsoring lacrosse. That's a
That's a very
very,
good point.
very good point. Julian brings up. He said Miami, the AD said that they are trying to work on staying in the ACC, but they have to compete with the Big Ten and SEC. The big thing was the TV contract. If they can redo it so they can get more money.
The only problem with that is ESPN ain't trying to renew right now
Mm-hmm.
because ESPN just did a new deal with the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna have to not redo the deal, but they're gonna have to kind of add money to the deal with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma. And then they're trying to get what WWE, they're trying to get all of these what is it, UFC that they're trying to renew the contract or get the contract for. So they try, and then they just cut all these different people with layoffs and all that. So it's like they in a kind of a money crunch. They not finna just automatically go fork over a whole bunch of money when they don't really have to right now. So it's kind of like they stuck between a rock and a hard place at the ACC because ESPN ain't budging, but at the same time, ESPN's was keeping them from being where they want to be. So what do? Because the way the contract deal is written up, if a team was to leave the ACC, the conference would still get the money from their home games in their new conference. So what you leaving for if you're not getting the money?
Good
You know what I'm
question.
saying? So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't, in a sense.
Yeah. Now, with the ACC, with the new 12-team playoffs coming around, if they're going to keep the format where the champions get an automatic bid,
Mm-hmm.
do you try to keep the ACC so you do get that automatic bid? Because I mean, to be honest, if you are a decent team in the ACC, you don't have much competition because it seems like if Florida State is up, Clemson is down. If Clemson is up, Florida State is down, and Miami always down. Sorry to say it, Julian. 0-12. They just started getting on my nerves already this year.
I say this about that. All right, out of those 14 teams in the ACC,
Mhm.
how many of them have a chance to make the playoff? Even with the champion even with the automatic bid for the champion, how many of them have a realistic chance of winning the ACC?
I think 3 right now.
Okay, so why them other 11 staying?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like if I ain't finna win the conference, why not go get some more money?
It's got to be basketball.
But the basketball for what? Either way it go, I'm gonna make the tournament in basketball.
That's true.
And the Big Ten ain't a bad basketball conference. The SEC getting better as a basketball conference. So what's keeping me in the ACC?
You make a very valid point.
And then them 3 schools that you say got a chance to win the ACC.
Mhm.
If I go to the SEC or the Big Ten, I might not win it, but I might be second or third, and I can still make the playoffs as an at-large, and I still get more money.
That's a good point. Very good point. It's gonna be interesting to see how things shake out. And I understand what you're saying, but does the Big Ten? I mean, it'll make more sense for the Big Ten to go after them. There's an article came out saying that Washington and
Oregon
were
they're gonna try, but I don't think it makes sense for them. I mean, Oregon would be the only one. Oregon would be the only one. And why wouldn't you not take 2? You know what I'm saying? Like, but if I'm the Big Ten and I got my option of Oregon or North Carolina, give me North Carolina because it makes more sense regionally.
It makes no sense for me for UCLA and USC. I understand money wise, but it makes no sense.
That's just the LA market, bro.
Yeah, that's
LA market. That's just for TV. That's strictly for TV purposes, bro.
It makes no sense logistically trying to.
It doesn't. It doesn't. But it makes sense for USC and UCLA because they're gonna make that much more money, and it makes that much more sense for everybody else in the Big Ten because you're gonna make that much more money.
Yeah.
But I don't think Oregon moves the needle TV wise, or Washington moves the needle TV wise. I'm not saying North Carolina does neither, but North Carolina is close to logistically.
You're right. They do give you something that you don't
they
have.
Give you a national champion contender in basketball almost every year too.
Yeah. Speaking of national contenders, JD5 been getting a lot of praise lately. He been getting a
Plus
lot of
1,500 on the Heisman contender.
he's been getting a lot of I guess you could say backing from media members.
First round grades or first round traits from some scouts that from what I've seen and potential to be first round pick and all these lofty goals. I mean lofty praise like you said. Um it's funny. It's funny.
We said this.
It's funny how other outside people could see it, but some of the fan base can't see it.
We said this. We've been saying this, and I understand a lot of people, saying, "Oh, he got to get better at passing downfield vertically. He's got to get better at this. He's got to do this." And I get it. I understand.
I mean, I would say he would agree, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I do think that what people fail to see is the signs where things were there. Um, you do have to get comfortable. I think he's more comfortable. He's more confident. This team as a whole is more confident. The understanding of the system and the scheme is better. Looking at that bowl game, understandably so. We went against a patchwork team in Purdue, but looking at that game and looking at the spring game, I don't see how you look at them and you don't have high hopes for quarterback position, whether it be Jaden or Nuss. I'm confident in both. I know JD5 is the man. I look forward to seeing like this game against Florida State look completely different.
Yeah, I
Completely
think that thing's gonna be similar. I'm not disclaimer.
different.
I'm not saying he's gonna be this guy. I'm just saying the leap we saw from Burrow to Jaden Daniels. I mean,
From 18 to
from
19.
18 to 19 is I think what we're gonna see from Jaden Daniels this year. Last year he started off kind of slowly, picked it up toward the end of the year, same as Burrow in 2018, and then 2019 Burrow came out fire. I'm not saying JD finna go win the Heisman. I'm not saying he's finna throw for 400 yards a game. I'm just saying I think the jump in the level of play, the jump in confidence, the jump in the command of the offense, what I mean? Like
I'll give you a better comparison that people don't
yeah,
what you call it 2012 to 2013 Mettenberger.
that's a good one too. Yeah,
Because a lot, I mean, people hear Burrow and they get up and, oh my God,
yeah.
you said he's going to. No, that's not what we're saying. We're talking about the leap from this year to that year. And I see that happening. So, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I just think he's gonna raise his level of play, and I think it's gonna start with being more comfortable with the offense. Having more of a command of it, knowing it better, being more familiar with it, knowing other people's responsibilities a little bit better. Um, I think all of that's gonna play a factor in it. I think that's the most important part. I think he's always had the ability. I think it's just been a comfort level.
Another thing, Carter points this out all the time. How JD5's running ability makes it easier on the running backs as well. It's gonna make it good. This running back room we got just got better. Logan Diggs coming home. Logan Diggs, the Louisiana native, Rummel High School,
Yeah,
former
Raider.
Rummel Raider, that ended up going to Notre Dame, so he didn't have to play linebacker. Is back home and just make like the running back room amazing. Go ahead, because you can't bust this bubble.
I'm not upset that we got Logan Diggs by any means.
Yeah.
I'm more so upset, frustrated, discouraged. You pick the adjective you want to use. For what this means for John Emery.
Mm.
I'm starting to really have very low expectations for him next season. Not talent wise or ability wise. I mean, the writing's just on the wall. The room's getting too crowded. There's got to be something more there that we don't know. Um, and then at the same time, part of me is kind of torn a little bit because I wanted AJ Allen,
Mhm.
but I know they didn't have room for both. Um, so yeah, I mean it is what it is. Julian, y'all getting a good one. Hate to see him go there, but
Yeah.
this he ain't in the ACC. But yeah, I mean Diggs definitely RB1 caliber back coming in. Definitely a need, I think, considering if you look at spring ball, you got what, two healthy running backs, Noah Kane and Trey Holly. I know Caleb Jackson ain't there yet, but still. Um, you never know what you're gonna get with Goodwin with his injury concerns. Josh Williams been banged up. And I mean, honestly, Noah Kane got some injury history as well.
You're
So
right.
just you can never have too many guys that you can count on, in that running back room. And honestly, if you look at Frank history, he's always had deep running back rooms. And I mean, he just back at doing what Frank does and load up that room with high caliber guys at that.
Yeah. So Florida State kickoff. LSU takes the field. Who takes first snap at running back?
Have no idea. I got to see how the health of what the Godwin's health looks like. What Josh Williams' health looks like. But if you ask me right this second, I think Logan Diggs.
Mm.
Out of the healthy guys, I don't know Godwin's like. I'm not going to include Godwin. But if you get out of Diggs, Kane, Trey Holly, and Josh Williams, I would give it to Diggs.
I think Josh Williams.
I wouldn't be upset with that because
No, I'm not. Yeah,
he's
I'm not
reliable.
upset. Yeah,
He's Mr. Reliable. So I'll be perfectly fine with that. I think Diggs just give you the highest ceiling out of them four guys.
that's understandable.
Five guys even.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be
I want Williams to be 18 if we keep that going.
Oh yeah, he definitely got to be Williams. That's my vote for 18. But that's not the only thing that LSU or no only player that LSU added. Juwan Johnson. Juwan Johnson decommitted from Colorado and is back in
That dude up there don't miss.
and he is back in Louisiana. He said he gonna stay home, So shout out to this recruiting team because they put a
Hey,
pitch
not
together.
only did he stay home, he tweeted something today or retweeted something today that it was like a graphic of the top 5, 7, whatever Louisiana players in the state, and like all but like 2 or 3 of them are committed to LSU right
Oh
now.
yeah. Hold on, because I know exactly which one you're talking about.
And he retweeted that and was like, this our state. You know what I mean? Like just that pride that these guys have in locking down the state again. I love to see it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So hold on. Let me see if I can bring it up here.
I know number one, Dominic McKinley,
Yeah.
that big behemoth of a young man.
Let me get ready to get it on this screen for y'all so y'all can see because I do want to talk about this as well. This is actually some
Lindsay gotta pull that one out the bag, bro. We'll pull the bag out for that one.
yeah. So if you look at it, you have Dominique McKinley, Tradez Green, which is already committed, Wardell Mack, Tylen Singleton. Then you got Kalaj Cobbins. You got Deshaun McBride and Jawan Johnson. So yeah, we definitely need those other
Yeah.
3 to commit.
I definitely need the Tyler, Dominique. Well, yeah, I need all 3 of them, but definitely Dominique. Man, that young man is game changer.
Yeah.
Game changer. But yeah, man, BK locking up the state, bro. You love to see it.
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
It might be bringing back another guy from the state too. Stay tuned.
Okay. I don't know about that one.
He visiting this weekend, if I ain't mistaken. Transfer guy, safety. You know about him. You just don't know that you know about him.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I just say, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Hey, let's shift to some basketball real quick. Whew, Doc Rivers.
Let's go there, please. Yes.
Doc Rivers. Said Philadelphia 76ers decided they no longer need his services and have relieved him of duty. That man got fired on his day off.
Good.
Say it was stealing boxes.
That man been stealing paychecks for years.
If I'm not mistaken, this was only his third year?
Yeah, this is third year. Mm-hmm. Talk to him, Dave. Talk to him, Dave.
Dave said the most overrated coaches in the past 30 years.
He one of them. He's definitely one of them. All right, let's run back. Let's run back this timeline of Doc Rivers' career. He started in Orlando, right?
I believe so. I can't remember.
He had Trace McGrady in his prime. Blew a 3-1 lead to the Pistons. And before you say the team that won the championship, it wasn't the team that won the championship. So then he goes to the Boston, wins the championship with the Big Three. Kudos. Salute to you. And what? Lost in the finals to the Lakers. Cool. Kudos. Nothing shy about that. Then what?
Clippers.
Well, he lost he got blown out in his last game in Boston. Got blown out. Like it wasn't even close. Then went to the Clippers. Never made the conference finals. Not the finals. The conference finals. With a team with one of the greatest point guards of all time, Chris Paul. A 50-win team almost every year, and you can't make the conference finals. I ain't even saying you got to win a chip. I ain't even saying you can't make the conference finals. Goes to Philly. First year, 50-win team, number 1 seed in the East. They lose to the Hawks. You can blame Ben Simmons. You can blame Ben. Cool. He threw Ben Simmons under the bus. Cool. What happened the next year? What happened this year?
Yeah.
You blew a 3-1 lead with the MVP. And in game 7, the MVP ain't touched the ball in the last 3 minutes.
3-2. They was 3-2. They won a 3-1 this year.
I thought it was 3. It was 3-2 lead
because it was 2-2. It was.
You're right. It was 3-2. It was 3-2. But still,
you're absolutely right.
You 6-10 all time in game 7s. Mm-hmm. If you look at some of the greatest coaches that they compare him to, like Popovich and Phil Jackson, and come on, bro, they like 8-3, 8-1, 5-3, 5-1, stuff like that. Like it ain't even close, bro. Mm-hmm. And you play with you've coached multiple Hall of Famers, and you ain't made it to the conference finals in a decade. In a decade, I need somebody to come name me a player that'll speak good about Doc Rivers.
Austin Rivers. His whole
Find
career.
Me too. Find me too. Then
Austin Rivers. The only reason. The
only reason Austin Rivers was in LA is because his daddy was the GM too.
The only reason why Austin Rivers is even in the league, in my opinion, is because his dad.
Nah, he was a serviceable player at Duke, so that got him drafted. But after he got drafted by the Pelicans, his daddy signed him in LA. But somebody tell me a player that talked good about Doc. Maybe Kendrick Perkins. Maybe.
What's his son-in-law? Seth Curry.
Nah, I don't even think he rock with him like that. But he do keep him a job though. He do keep him employed. But I'm just saying, bro, like the man is overrated. I talked about this with my boy Fox yesterday, and he got one title and piggyback that for 15 years and ain't done nothing in 15 years. Ain't done nothing but be average, if that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, bro, Eric Spoelstra ain't coached half the. I mean, he had LeBron in them for 3 years, cool. But after that, like right now, Eric Spoelstra ain't got half the talent. He got Jimmy Butler and Bam, and he done made the conference finals 2 of the last 3 years.
Julian bring up a good point. Talking about, speaking of Spo, said they get all these coaches all these awards and now they're fired. Spo hasn't won Coach of the Year and has the longest. He's the longest coach that's still coaching for one team.
That's not entirely true. Popovich still coaching, but
Yeah.
Popovich still coaching. That man been coaching.
That's true.
Since the 90s. But to his point though, Spo outcoached Doc every time they go up against each other, bro. Name me a coach that Doc has outcoached in the playoffs. Like he can outcoach a guy whenever I got 3 All-Stars, 3 Hall of Famers, and you ain't got nobody in the regular season. But in the playoffs, where you got a good team and I got a good team, do you outcoach me? Nah. You know who was his assistant coach in Boston? Tom Thibodeau, one of the greatest defensive coaches the NBA has ever seen. You know who he got after that? Darren Erman, one of the greatest defensive coaches the league has ever seen. When Tom Thibodeau got a job, Boston defense fell off a little bit. Darren Erman left, the Clippers defense disintegrated. Doc Rivers, there ain't no X's and no coach. He's a player's coach. He's supposed to, learn, get the best out the players, get the most out the players, be a motivator. But if you look at everybody who he coached for, JJ Redick, Big Baby Davis, Rasheed Wallace, James Harden just said, me and Doc, okay. You know what I mean? Like, nobody has nothing good to say about the man. If he a player's coach, why ain't nobody got nothing good to say about him? He said Ben Simmons came to championship point guard, threw the man under the bus. Like, that's the man overrated, bro. And I'm glad people finally starting to see it, dog. Like, Ty Lue is a much better coach to him. Eric Spoelstra, much better coach to him. Like, there's coaches out here who really can coach, and we keep giving Doc a pass. And the reason he get a pass from his media buddies is because he used to be in the media.
Let me ask this. Because Doc Rivers, and granted, I understand, I'm not saying he didn't deserve, but Doc Rivers is now the 5th championship winning basketball coach, NBA coach to get fired.
Yeah, he deserved to get fired though. I ain't saying the other ones did, but he did. He did, bro.
But I'm gonna ask this because, and I granted, Doc's leash was short because of his history.
Yeah, I mean,
but some of these other coaches that we've seen, like Frank Vogel, Nurse.
All right, so I talked about this with Fox last week.
Yeah,
go ahead.
And the only reason I'm asking, have we gotten to a point to where we're no longer in a let's give them some time, or is it just that time is just really short?
That's exactly what it is, bro. It's that with instant gratification. All right, you know what I mean? Like, if you've won, they expect you to win again. You know what I mean? And I think the Warriors and LeBron and have given people a false sense of how easy it is to be at that level. You know what I mean? The way you make it every year. Like, let's go back to the coaches and Nick Nurse won because of Kawhi Leonard. Straight up, like, everybody agrees with that. When Kawhi Leonard left, your title expectations should have went down dramatically because you're no longer that same team. But yet they kept him at that same level and expectations, and it's impossible for you to reach that. So yeah, it's kind of unfair to me that he got fired, especially considering you don't like you're in a limbo. You lost Kyle Lowry as well. Like you're kind of rebuilding on the fly at the same time. So it's kind of unrealistic to expect him to keep that franchise in contention when there was so many moving parts on the roster. Frank Vogel he got fired as a scapegoat because Rob Pelinka messed up that roster. Point blank, period. And you can say what you want about Frank Vogel as a coach, but Darvin Ham wasn't doing any better this year with that roster that Frank Vogel had last year. Everything changed whenever they made roster moves and got rid of some people and brought in pieces that fit better. Not throwing shade to anybody, but they needed pieces that fit better. And when they got those pieces in that fit better, their season turned around. So if they don't make them trades, Darvin Ham looking just like Frank Vogel right now and on the outside looking in of the playoffs. So you can blame Frank Vogel if you want, but that was Rob Pelinka's fault with the roster that he put together. So he got scapegoated, in my opinion. Budenholzer, I think Budenholzer got scapegoated in a sense too. I think that was a player's decision. I think that they just wanted, honestly, my personal opinion, y'all can kill me for it if you want. I think Giannis is lacking or failing to take accountability on himself, and he's trying to blame someone else. Giannis is sitting at home right now because the boy can't shoot. And every time he play Eric Spoelstra exposes the flaw that he can't shoot. And until he gets a jump shot, teams going like Eric Spoelstra Boston last year are going to expose that. And you can blame Budenholzer all you want to, but it's only so much you can do to game plan for a guy who can't shoot. And so when teams take away his ability to get to the rim, if he can't shoot, I can't get you to the rim whenever they blocking you from the rim. Like, there's only so much I could do as a coach. And so injuries and all that play a part, sure. But at the same time, Giannis, like, let's be real, if Kevin Durant was a half a size smaller, they don't even win the title that they win. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like and I know you could play the what if game for every title, you know what I mean? But that's how close they were to not having won at all. So to think that you just right there, bro, like whenever your main guy isn't developing and everybody else is catching up to you, I mean, I think that's kind of wrong to blame the coach whenever Giannis hasn't gotten any better offensively as a player at all.
I'm gonna ask this question in a second. I'm gonna say that talking about, I guess you could say with expectations, but Spurs win the number one spot, number one draft pick.
Wimpy sweepstakes.
Yeah. Let me ask this question: is there any way that Wembanyama? I think I probably butchered that.
Wembanyama.
Yeah. Is there any way he doesn't go number one?
Yeah, if he take his name out the draft.
I'm gonna ask this: is there any way that the Spurs don't get him? I mean, do they trade back?
If he take his name out the draft. Honestly, conspiracy theory. Y'all put y'all 10-4 hats on with me. All right. This fall, it was announced that the Spurs was breaking ground on a $550 million practice/training facility.
You don't find that suspicious?
Do you know the team that he plays for in France? The Met 92. Yeah. You know who the owner of that team is?
Who?
Tony Parker. Do you know who the general manager of that team is?
You don't find that suspicious?
Do you know who the general manager? Hold on. Do you know who the general manager of that team is?
I'm against Boris Diaw.
Correct.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
So, do you know that the Spurs traded the best player on their roster this offseason? Let's play a game real quick. Name 5 Spurs. Hell, name 3 Spurs.
The boy from Baylor with the hair. That's the only.
Yeah, Shohan. Okay.
That's about it.
Anybody in the chat want to help him? I'll give y'all a few seconds. But yeah, that's my point. So They basically Devontae Graham, correct, because we traded him the other day. That's how you know that. Next. But that's my point though. Don't nobody know who's on the Spurs. So I mean, and Detroit had a better chance to get them, and they didn't end up with them, but the Spurs did. So I mean, conspiracy theory away. Whenever the French guy is eligible, you know what I mean, the team with the best connection to the French connection that he has gets him. I mean, it's just
Mm.
you
Man,
know, you know.
uh,
But to help y'all out, Doug McDermott's on that team. Uh,
I ain't even
Zach
about to
Collins
put
on
you.
that team. Keldon Johnson's on that team. Uh, yeah, that's enough. But yeah, just to help y'all out.
Man. Expectations. People are already doing the whole he'll be Durant or he'll be this play. Is it fair to start doing these comparisons? Because isn't that the problem that people, saying the problem people have with LeBron? It's because they compared him and made him such and such person.
All right, so the LeBron thing is a little bit different because he dubbed himself the chosen one. I mean, whether right, wrong, and different. I mean, that's that's the difference with LeBron. But I will say, whenever Adrian Wojnarowski comes out and says you might be the best prospect in all of team sports history, that's probably about as lofty of expectations as you can get. But I will say, I mean, I ain't got no problem with it because I heard the same thing about Zion. I heard the same thing. I mean, I heard the same thing about Kobe. I heard LeBron. You know what I mean? I heard the same thing about so many other players that they're the best thing. The next greatest. Darko Milicic, Yao Ming. You know what I mean? There's so many guys that you could say who was supposed to be the next greatest thing. I remember when OJ Mayo was supposed to be the next greatest thing. I remember when Sebastian Telfair had ESPN doing a documentary about him when he was in high school. You know what I mean? Like I remember all of these guys were supposed to be the next great thing. And Harold Miner and you can go on and on and on and on. Guys who just never panned out to, never lived up to it. So I ain't got no problem with them giving him the same expectations. That means I just hope that they treat him the same way they treat Kwame Brown and other people if he don't pan out.
Yeah. I guess we can talk about the playoffs now. Nick here, we can talk about the playoffs.
Go ahead, go.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm just saying I said it was gonna happen.
You did.
I'm glad it did. Chris left.
I
think Chris left.
Yeah, Chris left. He came today, but he left.
Yeah, he left.
But yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna say that. I didn't see it happening. Y'all just played better than I thought. That in Golden State, I thought Golden State would be tougher to beat at home, but y'all did what y'all had to do. AD played consistently, which we hadn't seen up until that point. No, we all knew he was capable of it. You know what I mean? He's one of the greatest players in the world. Whenever he's playing at the level he's capable of playing, the question with him has always just been injuries and doing it consistently. And it looked like he turned up on a different level right now in the playoffs. Last night, I mean, Jokic was killing him in the first half, first three quarters, but he was getting his too on the other end. So, I mean, you can't take that away from him. But I think that's gonna be a hell of a series on that end. I mean, we could loud and wrong. Let's talk about you, Nick. Loud and wrong. You got your coach fired. Loud and wrong.
Hold on. Monty Williams is another one who I didn't put that on. I forgot to talk about that. But hold on, I do want to share. Oh man,
Nick shared the video talking about he be wrong, and then I be wrong on a large platform. I don't care. I ain't scared to be wrong because I ain't wrong all the time like you are, Nick. No, y'all got that man fired. 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 When y'all traded y'all whole team for Kevin Durant, y'all had that man having to play Torrey Craig, Landry.
Uh-oh. Oh, I froze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? I don't know if that
Yeah.
was you or me.
I thought I froze.
I
I
thought
don't
I
know.
did.
Oh,
Oh, ain't nobody.
he said,
Ain't,
look at
ain't nobody mad over here, bro. I'm good.
I'm mad because I would have loved to see the Suns against the Lakers because it might have I think it would have been an easier road for them. But
Oh, it would have for sure. It would have for
nah.
sure. Y'all matched
But,
up better with them.
but nah, man. Now it's Denver.
So let me go ahead and make you happy, pause. But in that fourth quarter, I believe that the Lakers stumbled upon something that could help win the series. I believe they found a way to defend Jokic for majority of the time. I'm not saying it's going to stop Jokic. Don't believe
Right.
that's possible. I believe it's going to make his life harder, make it harder for him to score. And it's going to try to force other people, specifically whoever Anthony Davis is guarding, to do more. In the fourth quarter, they put Hachimura on Jokic, and they put AD on Aaron Gordon. And Hachimura has the quickness and enough strength to where Jokic can't really bully him, but he can also stay in front of Jokic. And if Jokic does try to get him on the block and use his size advantage, height advantage, AD is usually right there in position to be a rim protector and to help defender. And we saw, I mean, he only shot the ball like 3 times on when Rui was guarding him, but he didn't make a shot on him. And a couple of those AD came over with the contest and made, altered the shot, if not blocked the shot. He also forced 2 turnovers of passes that he was trying to pass the ball to Aaron Gordon, who AD was guarding. Now, I do think if LA tries to run this defense, Denver will change the offense and move Aaron Gordon and instead of putting Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot, I think they'll move him out to the corner 3 and kind of force AD out further away from the basket. But I do think that it's enough of a wrinkle to where it's going to force Denver to adjust and change what they do. And that's enough to kind of give you. I mean, if you look at it, it was what, a 4-point game, 5-point game, or whatever. 6-point game. And so I mean, if you look at it, all that's a possession here, possession there. You know what I mean? And so if you can force them out of their offense enough to where you still 2 or 3 possessions, then that's the difference in going down 0-2 and going back to LA tied 1-1. You know what I mean? So I think that they stumbled upon something that's going to be interesting to see how that affects the rest of but at the same time, I think Denver is going to adjust that small ball lineup they had in the game that allowed the Lakers to make their run back whenever they had Aaron Gordon at the 5 with Jeff Green and Christian Brown or whatever, and Bruce Brown and Jamal Murray. That's too much. That's not enough size. And LeBron and AD and Hachimura or whoever was killing them. I mean, they was getting and ones. They was just bullying down them on the block, getting offensive rebounds left and right. So, I mean, it's going to have to be adjustments made on both sides. And it's almost like who can make the better adjustment or who can make the last adjustment in a sense. But I think that's going to be a very interesting series for sure.
Yeah.
Nuggets in 7.
Okay. I got it. I think it's gonna be Nuggets in 6. But if it goes 7, I get an edge to LA for the experience. Yeah, or actually, you know what? I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna even say the Nuggets because it's not so much the experience. I don't care how old he is. You still got Braun.
That's true.
If he goes 7, I'm taking Braun.
That's very valid. Very valid. But last night, the Lakers played 8 guys.
Mhm.
They played majority of their starters except for D'Angelo Russell, 38 to 40 plus minutes. If it goes 7 games and you got to play 40 plus minutes, 7 games, after you just had to go, play 40 plus minutes for 7 games, what I mean, last series, or 6 games last series, you know what I mean? At what point, I mean, he a different animal. I'm not saying LeBron gonna break down,
Right.
but what point does AD? At what point does Schroeder? At what point? And then gotta mention, you gotta think about it. That game 7 gonna be in Denver at that high altitude.
I get
You
that.
get what I'm saying? And so, for that reason, I feel like if it goes 7, Denver with being fresher, because then their series was a little easier versus the Suns as far as the workload and the minutes played and stuff like that. Not necessarily the
Well,
games played.
well, well. I do want to retort that the Lakers, although they played those games where they played long. If I'm not mistaken, there was 2 or 3 blowouts on both sides. Well,
Yeah, that was.
they ended up sitting rest. Both teams ended up resting starters at like the last 5-10 minutes left. So
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there's still a lot of minutes to put on that body. I understand your point. I don't know, man. I can't. It's hard to go against.
I mean, I feel you, and I mean, I understand that 100%, and most people probably agree with you, but I done seen what too many people go to Denver, and
Oh
that
yeah.
you
Oh
know
yeah.
what I mean. It's but what you go to Denver with tired legs, third quarter, your jump shot start falling short. You know what I mean? And with that crowd in Game 7, if you start falling behind and you gotta start shooting, you know what I mean. You
Mhm.
ain't got the legs, it can get ugly quick. So I mean, I ain't saying they gonna get blown out or nothing.
Oh
But
yeah.
if it
I get
goes 7, I'm my money on the home team just because of that rest
right.
and altitude factor.
Right. Now let's talk about this game that's on tonight. Boston, Miami. Miami is actually up by 3. Actually, they up by 6 now. With
Told you.
4:21 in the third. Um,
I told you, bro.
yeah, I wanted, so before this game started, I kept saying I want to say Miami, but I feel like Boston gonna win. I want to say Miami, but I feel like Boston gonna win. I think everybody's pointing towards Boston. Like, yeah, they gonna do it. They gonna do it,
Man,
and
ESPN
nobody's
gave Boston like a 3. I mean, ESPN gave Miami like a
3%.
3% chance, bro. That's
Yeah,
so disrespectful, dog. That's so disrespectful.
we just talked about Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah.
Eric Spoelstra is good enough. It's very underrated. Very underrated. He's a way better coach
Second,
than. Go ahead.
I mean, he top 3 in the league.
At this point, he's top 3 in the league because um you got Pop, Kerr,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Spo.
Mm-hmm. Big facts. That's it. That's the 3. Ain't no debate. Nope. Lou number 4.
Yeah, I get Lufo. So
Lou number 4.
then Darvin Ham. No, I'm just playing. But no, seriously, man. I
And
just
but to your point, though, I think the Celtics got worse at head coach. And I know the Udoka situation, but I think they got worse. I think last year's Celtics team was better than this year's Celtics team, but this year's Celtics team has more talent.
I think Whatchamacallit is coming into his own. Jason Tatum this year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's I think he's yeah.
He got an offensive minded coach that helps.
That's true.
Udoka was a defensive minded, and when we talked about defensive assistants, Thibodeau and Erman, Udoka right up there with them as one of the best defensive coaches the league has seen. And that's the difference. Boston's swap defense for offense. So you unlock Tatum, and we've seen Brown, make strides and stuff, be more consistent. But we've seen them fall so far on defense that it ain't funny, dog. And like they should be better this year with the addition of Brogdon, Derek White, all these guys you brought in. And last year's team was better. And it's because of the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, Brogdon don't win number headbands for the rest of his career. I'm sick of that dude hairline, man. That's just anyway. Never mind.
Press.
Never mind. Anyway, man, I do want to talk. This is something else I want to talk about, man.
Heating 6.
You got Heating 6. Okay. All right. I want to talk about Ja Morant. This probably could have been an altar call, but we ain't got to do all that. I do want to say, Ja Morant, for those of you who hadn't heard, Ja Morant has been suspended indefinitely due to flashing a gun again on a social media in the car with a associate.
But just to interrupt, the same associate who's banned from attending Memphis Grizzly games for that incident with the Pacers. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to go first, but let me say this. Let me start off by saying this. What Ja Morant did was incredibly stupid. Ja Morant was shows a lack of great decision making off the court. I'm say that shows lack of great decision making. He looks like he needs some kind of guidance or something, some kind of help. I don't know if like he's having some kind of. I'm not gonna say breakdown because I don't want to tailor it like that, but I don't know if he's going through some kind of identity crisis or what. But please stop trying to paint him like he's freaking Jeffrey Dahmer. What he did was stupid, but what he did was also legal. He can legally own a firearm. He can legally take pictures with it, all on social media with it. It's stupid, but he legally can do it. Let's stop acting like this man is the scum of the earth, like he's out here. And now if some comes out later on, he's doing all this other crazy stuff, domestic violence or something like that. That's different. But right now,
they got the case about him punching the 17-year-old or whatever.
Oh yeah. I trust me, I've met a 17-year-old or two that needs to be punched, but that's neither here nor there. I just want people to stop. I want the media to stop painting this man like he's so terrible because he took a picture with a weapon. When you're glorifying other people in politics and people in saying civilians when they do this. Let's stop. Also, if you're an NRA member, you should realize that they full of shit because nobody in the NRA has stood up and said, hey, this is his Second Amendment right. He is allowed to have weapons. He's not a criminal. He is not anything, of the such. Only thing about it, like I said, he's making a bad decision because of the way it looks upon the NBA, the quote unquote thug imagery. But I think it's gone too far as the characterization or the character assassination.
I think that's fair. I don't think he's a thug.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? A criminal or nothing like that. I think he's dumb as hell. I think he deserved to get suspended again. I mean, you clearly have it in your contract that you won't do anything detrimental to the organization and to the league. And whether we agree or not, the perception that you're giving the league is that it's full of thugs, and you know what I'm saying, and one of their best players is a thug. That's detrimental to the league, detrimental to the Grizzlies. So whether it's legal, I do agree on that 100%. I don't think nobody should be calling him a criminal. Nobody should be, all that. It's definitely his right to own a gun and everything. I 100% agree with that. And he hasn't committed a crime, and he shouldn't lose his. They shouldn't kick him out of the league. All that crazy stuff people saying. Mm-hmm. But I mean, people lose their job every day for doing stuff that ain't illegal. People get suspended every day for if you say some racist stuff that technically ain't illegal. But
exactly, I
completely your job. You know what I'm saying? So I do agree with. I do think there should be punishment. I don't think kicking him out the league is that punishment. You know what I mean? I think that's way too far. I think, 10 games or something again, just like last time, just to kind of show him that you're not playing about it. You know what I mean? Like you are serious about it. And I think, kind of a second, third strike type situation with him to where if he, does it again or and my thing isn't the gun and him having the gun. It's more so him feeling the need to show the gun. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it, people take pictures and stuff all the time and stuff, but it's like, why? And not just for him, but for everybody. Like, why? It's just dumb to me. And so I guess because I don't understand it. It's one reason why I'm so like you just dumb, so you deserve to get suspended just so you can see how dumb your decisions were. But he ain't no criminal. He ain't no thug just because he owns a gun. If that's the case, I'm a thug because I got a gun. You know what I mean? So I ain't flashing it, but at the same time I have. So I mean, am I a thug too? So I think that I'm with you on the slippery slope for the character assassinations and the labels that people are placing on them. But at the same time, I can't really defend his actions.
Oh
And
no, no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no. Yeah,
I gotta be on the side of he deserved to get suspended. And honestly, I want him to chill out for his sake.
I do too. Especially and I hate to characterize it because the first thing people do, I hate when they take say Chicago for every time they want to talk
Yeah.
about, what I'm saying, black on black violence or something like that. But Memphis is one of those
Hmm.
cities that been given the image of being just wild wild west and all this kind of stuff. I don't want it, what I'm saying, want that to be the his downfall. But like you said, if owning a gun makes you a thug, I know several thugs in Congress.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's 7 thugs watching this show then. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
But at the same time, on that Memphis tip, like it's when we saw what happened to somebody from Memphis,
Mhm.
dog, he was in the city. You know what I'm saying? So I just want him to chill out for his sake. Not that it would happen, you know what I mean? But just don't even put yourself in a situation where you could run that risk.
all right. Yeah. Let's stay in basketball for a minute before we get up out of here.
Hemi Butler.
Yeah. It is 95-87 right now. Miami with a minute 36 left in the third quarter. Yeah, it's looking Miami and 6 don't look too bad right about now. But I do want to say, man, congratulations to Angel Reese for making the USA under 23 team. Also, congratulations to Aaliyah Del Rio for making the under 19 team. Uh, two of LSU's uh, two of LSU's well, one incoming and a current star LSU team doing well, man. Just happy that they back. I mean that they're made those teams have a chance for a third with uh uh Morrow. I'm sorry, Anisha Morrow.
Yeah.
So she's on the finalists, one of the finalists for the under 23 team. But Angel Reese story behind this, man.
Yeah, it was dope. Determination.
Yeah. But yeah, those congratulations to them, man. I was gonna talk a little baseball. I'm not. I'm gonna just say this, man. They dropped the second SEC series. They gotta get it together. They gotta pull it together. But the sky ain't fully falling, man. I think there are some issues. The sky
One
is not
question.
falling.
Just one question.
Yep.
Could this be a good thing? Because it lowers the expectation and the pressure on the team going into the postseason. Because like last year, that Tennessee team was so dominant that they had all that pressure. You know what I mean? Like if you drop a few series and you kind of fall to 4 or 5 or whatever the case may be, does that kind of help you out because you don't have as much pressure?
I think pressure is still there because even with you dropping it, and I understand with the expectations, um, I think it's best to get this out of the way now.
That's
Um,
true too.
So, and granted, it's easier to learn a lesson after a win, but you learn more about yourself after a loss.
Mhm.
Let me rephrase that. It's more digestible after a win to learn a lesson. But man, I think they're gonna be all right, man. Pitching the turnaround. You're not gonna play all SEC teams in a tournament. Um, and you seem to do well non-conference. So I think we'll be all right. We shall bounce back. So man, just stay up now. They also did finish with the win last night. Finished the with the best non-conference schedule, best non-conference record in LSU history. So
Impressive.
yeah,
Mm, yeah.
yeah. Now last thing, Haney versus Lomachenko this weekend. What you thinking?
Haney.
I think Haney. A lot of people been trying to take shots at Haney. As far as on Twitter, social media, like I guess he got rocked one time, and people were like, "Oh, see, Lomachenko ain't never got rocked or nothing like that."
Oh, we good. We
Oh
good.
yeah, yeah. Nick say Loma in a
Good.
split. Yeah, I'm taking.
We
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Who is I'm finna tell you. Loma fight when he fought Tio.
Tiafimo got rocked.
And he was literally he could have won that fight. He just he was like real timid.
Yeah, he got rocked.
Give me Haney, man. Give me Haney. Are we on the collision course? Haney,
I want it. Haney and Tank.
Haney Tank, Shakur.
I I want to see Shakur Ryan Garcia first,
Mm.
and I think that boy called him LMAO, but I think uh, I think like Haney and Tank would be a great like style fight, and I think Ryan and Shakur would be a good style fight.
See, I think okay. Shakir versus Ryan Garcia. That'd probably be the best fight Shakur has had to date.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But he still got. He's not gonna touch nobody. He has so much of that Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather wasn't so good because he
You
knocked
just
people
hit
out.
him.
You couldn't hit him. It would look like you was hitting him, but you weren't.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Andre Floyd.
yeah, yeah. So
But I just oh yeah, I want Shakur Ryan. Then I want to see Shakur versus the winner of Devin and Javante. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
need to see Shakur. I need to see that he can be at the level before I throw him in there with them two
gotcha.
monsters.
Yep. So I'll tell you somebody else who on the rise. And this may sound cliche. Nico, Nico Ali. I can't think of his last name. Muhammad Ali grandson.
Yeah, yeah. That
Nico,
boy cold. And that boy from New Orleans cold too though.
who
Re-
I
I can't remember. I think his name Regis. He like number 8 in the right now in the world though. But
okay.
well, nice.
That's what's
I
up.
I was a Tiafimo fan until I seen what he said the other day. Nah, I don't really.
I hadn't seen what I was. I hadn't seen Teofimo fight in
Yeah,
I don't know how long.
he ain't fought him. Man, he fought like last year, like August or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said some wild stuff the other day. I ain't really with him no more.
I say Biagio Ali. That's what. Yeah. So
I ain't repeating it on here.
oh, it's one of them. Okay. But man, you got anything else before we get up out of here?
Yeah, we got something else. You know me, I wasn't finna. WNBA season start Friday.
Okay.
So hey, clip this. Clip this. For all y'all who mad that Alexis Morris or LaDeja or whoever got cut and didn't make a WNBA roster, y'all better have y'all TV tuned in on Friday to watch the WNBA. Because you can't complain about it not being enough spots and then not support so they can make more spots. You can't say that you're not going to support no more when you got now you got Angel Reese, you got all these other LSU players who trying to make the WNBA, and you're not going to support to give them a chance to make the WNBA? And if you're not an LSU fan, cool. You ain't got to watch for the LSU people. But you watch Caitlin Clark, y'all did all that talk about women's basketball, how it's so fun and exciting and all that. Then put your money where your mouth at. Buy the WNBA League Pass. Go make sure that you got Ion so you can watch their games. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole bunch of people complaining. It's a whole bunch of people saying what the WNBA need to do, what they need to expand. They need a D-League team. They need a D-League. They need all this, that, and other. But don't none of y'all watch the games. Don't none of y'all support the product. Put your money where your mouth at and go support the product, man.
All right. Well, I think we all have got our marching orders. Got anything else before we get up out of here?
See y'all Sunday.
All right, like that. We out.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
This show was presented by betonline.ag.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.
Golden Boot!